I want to start out with AI. The theory is this. AI is artificial intelligence. People act like it just showed up this year or maybe the latter part of last year. AI didn't just show up. AI has been in existence for a very, very long time. A tape recorder that took your calls for you when you were not in your office was AI. Right? Somebody else was doing some work for you. As they started to put robots in factories, that is AI. That was building things that humans used to do before. Now we have a bit more interpretive AI. You can go ahead and give AI a transcript and it can go ahead and look other things up in the world and find it for you and help you do things. But it's just AI. When you use a search engine, right? That is AI. You're giving it a bit more direction. When you give it a transcript and say, please develop an essay out of this transcript, it's the same thing, just a different mechanism. And you know what? It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it means we as people have to work less. What would happen, however, is that the oligarchy, the people who command capital, they would want you to think, fear this guy, because they want AI to be a competitor of you. Remember, capitalism, the theory is that it's the efficient allocation of resources. Is that true? Hell no. It has never been true. If I can program your mind to believe that all things are in competition with other things, right? Suddenly, Medicare for all doesn't make any sense because we need competition in healthcare. All these things we need to compete in now, we need to have AI competing with you. And why do we need AI competing with you? Because it reduces your value, right? If you have to compete with yet another entity, your value is diminished. However, let's remember one important thing. AI does not occur in a vacuum. Artificial intelligence isn't no artificial intelligence. That's what we call it. Artificial intelligence is your intelligence. It's the intelligence of Daniel Cohen that's been placed over the decades that he's been posting on the internet, that he's been talking, that he's been transcribing. AI is you, all the composite knowledge of America, all the composite knowledge of the world. It's in databases all over, but it didn't come out of air. It's you. So you don't need to compete with you. You have always done it. The taxpayers of this world that created the knowledge that the scientists, the engineers, and everybody has, you paid for it. You are the one responsible for that. So therefore, we don't fear AI. What we should do is, in the aggregate, make sure that our laws reflect what AI is supposed to be. But so what I want to do is say, when Bernie Sanders get it, when an 80-something-year-old gets it, that's magic because it means now we have to get it. I want to play for you what Bernie Sanders had to say, a little narrative.
This push from the UAW for a 4-day work week, is that a negotiating tactic? Or do you see that as the future of labor in the U.S., a 4-day work week?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. We are looking at an explosion in this country of artificial intelligence and robotics. And that means that the average worker is going to be much more productive. Worker productivity is going to increase significantly. The question as a nation that we have got to ask ourselves is who's going to benefit from that increased productivity? Is all of that new income and wealth being created by worker productivity going to go to the people on top, or are workers going to benefit? So right now, in my view, I happen to believe that as a nation, we should begin a serious discussion, and the UAW is doing that, about substantially lowering the work week. People in America are stressed out for a dozen different reasons. And that's one of the reasons why life expectancy in our country is actually in decline. People are overwhelmed. They got to take care of their kids. They got to worry about healthcare. They got to worry about housing. They're worried. It seems to me that if new technology is going to make us a more productive society, the benefit should go to the workers. And it would be an extraordinary thing to see people have more time to be able to spend with their kids, with their families, to be able to do more in cultural activities, get a better education. So the idea of making sure that artificial intelligence, robotics benefits us all, just not the people on top, is something absolutely we need to be discussing.
If you're listening to this right now, you are partially responsible for AI. You are partially responsible for robotics. So when that plant, instead of hiring 5,000 people, are going to hire now 1,000 people, and then the robots, which can work 24/7 nonstop, it doesn't need a breakfast break, a pee break, or any kind of breaks like that. Great. That should mean you should be able to spend more time with your daughter, with your son, with your family. It gives you that much more time. AI does, robotics does, right? And if we as a society looked at what we as a society created and not allow the parasites on top, I repeat, not allow the parasites on top to monopolize on that efficiency we all created. And that's why it's going to take laws, not capitalism. Capitalism says, I take the spoils. I am the one who has capital. I take the spoils. You are just a worker. I lay you off. And if you notice, capitalism is nothing more than antiseptic slavery.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.